Hello guys, today we are going to discuss the closest sum. Okay, the problem statement is given a sorted array of integer and a target sum. Find the pair of element whose sum is closest to the target value. Okay, so we will have the array and we'll have the target. What we want the two combination, any combination of this array, whether this combination 10, 20 or 22 or 30, whatever the combination we can take. And we are going to subtract with the target and the difference should be the minimum. Okay, for example, let's say we took a two combination, that is 10 and the 40, which is nothing but our starting index and the end index. And if you calculate, the sum is 50, and what will be the difference? The 50 minus 54 is 4, so difference is the 4. And when we are taking the two combination 22 and 30, in that case our difference is the 2, right? Similarly we can have other combination and the difference is the 3, right? So if we closely observe, the difference is 2, which is the minimum. Okay, so in that case our answer will be 22, 30, right? So this is what we are going to solve. And how we can solve this? Okay, for example, in normal brute force approach, right? Brute force approach, what we can do, actually we need the two pointer, right? One is the starting pointer and the end pointer, right? And we can have the combination of these two pointer. How we can have by like for loop, right? One for the starting pointer, which will be from 0 to n minus 1, right? And other for loop which will be inside the first one, that will be end pointer from s to n minus 1, right? And here we can just get the combination of s and e, and we can just calculate the sum by array of s plus array of e, and we can calculate the difference, which will be nothing but the target minus sum. And we can check whether this difference is the minimum or not. If it is the minimum, in that case we can say, okay, our close one is as close to is e, right? Similarly, uh, I mean, this minimum logic we can have, like we can initialize the minimum diff is nothing but the max integer, uh, the maximum value of integer. Then we can just simply check here, right? If diff is less than min diff, right? This is how we can check. But the problem here is, if you see, we are trying to get the combination of s and e with the two for loop. So how many combination will be there? The combination will be nc2, right? The where n is the number of the array, element of the array. The total combination will be n minus 1 by 2, which will be nothing but the order of n square, right? So the complexity is pretty high. So what we can do is, okay, let's see what we can do. What we can do, instead of having a two for loop, what we can do, we can just traverse this s from 0 to n minus 1 and e from n minus 1 to 0. Okay, and this is how we can traverse. So what we can say, we can have like s equal to 0 and e equal to nothing but n minus 1, right? N minus 1. And you can just simply have for loop or while loop, where we can say that, okay, s should be less than e. And within this for loop, we can just simply check. Okay, first we'll calculate the local sum, which will be nothing but the array of s plus array of e. Okay, and once you got the sum, we can calculate the diff, the difference between the local sum and the target. Okay, if the target, let's say if the if the diff is less than min diff. Okay? If the target is less than min diff, in that case, what we are going to do, we are going to just update like, okay, our min diff will be nothing but diff, right? And our close one, let's say we have other one variable, uh, we can say it's a close one, will be the array of s, and the close two will be array of e, right? So this is how we can calculate the min diff, close one and the close two. But the point is how we are going to traverse from here to here and here to here. Okay. But that thing, what we can do, we can just simply check. Okay. If the sum, this sum, if this sum is less than target, Okay, what does mean? Okay, we'll see. If the sum is less than target, basically if we are adding these two and whatever the sum we are getting, if that is the less than 54, right? If 50 less than 54, here 50 is the sum and the 54 is the target, right? In that case, what we should do? We should increase this sum, right? If we want to increase this sum, what we can do? Because this array is sorted, right? So if we traverse from 0 to n minus 1, we will be increasing the s pointer, right? So basically, in that case, what we can do? We can just simply check. We can simply increase the s pointer with the 1, right? For say, uh, we want we have some situation like we have the comments of 28 and 40, right? In that case, the sum will be what? 68. Sum will be 68 and target will be 54. If that is the case, that means the sum is greater than target, right? The sum is greater than target. That means we need to decrease this sum, right? If that is the case, how we can decrease? We need to just traverse this e pointer to the left side, right? So what we can do in that case, we can just simply do e minus minus. Basically, we are decreasing the pointer e, right? So we can do the same thing here. In case of the sum is less than target, in case of the sum is less than target, we are increasing the s pointer, right? So we can simply say s plus plus. And in else block, that means the sum is greater than target, we'll be doing e minus minus. So that we are going to use. Okay, if we closely observe, so we are just traversing from s to till that point when s is less than e. That means just a one or while loop, right? In that case, this will be like order of n, right? So I've reduced a lot of time complexity with this approach. Okay, let's code this. Okay, we are going to use the Golang, and of course we have the exactly the same example array and the target. We had defined one function called closest sum, right? Here we are going to code. So let's first have a minDiff, right? MinDiff, which will be nothing but the uh, minimum of max float or max integer, we could say, because we have the integer, right? So yeah, you can have like this. We also need the s pointer, which will be nothing but the 0, end pointer, which will be nothing but the uh, length of array minus 1. We also need the close one, which will be nothing but we can just say array of initializing, okay, array of 0, and close 2 is nothing but the array of length of array minus 1. Okay, and what the result we want? We want let's print that result and ln. We want close 1, close 2, and the minDiff, right? This is what we want. So okay, in Golang we don't have the while loop, but we do have the for loop where we can do the same thing where s is less than e. Within the block, we can just simply calculate the sum equal to array of s plus array of e. Okay, then we can calculate the diff, local diff, we can say, right? Which will be nothing but the absolute, the math absolute of you know the sum minus the target. Okay, then after diff, we can just simply calculate. I mean, just check if diff is less than our min diff, right? So where we do have the min diff, yeah, like min diff. In that case,